November the 2nd, Birdsong. There are, in fact, more birds than you might expect to be heard in November, considering there is far less need to attract a female, protect a fledgling, or even set down a territory. The calls we do hear tend to be short, intermittent, and often solitary. Many are just contact or flight calls, although there are still noisy flocks. London's gardens are still good places to hear stalwarts such as robins, song thrushes, wrens, hedge sparrows, tits, and pinking blackbirds, all of which can be heard the entire month. Greenfinches, chaffinches, and pied wagtails tend only to be heard in the early part of the month, and nuthatches generally only at the end. Wood pigeons and stock doves are still cooing, and now is a good time to separate their similar calls. Wood pigeons, which have white colours, tend to coo 3 times, with the second coo being slightly higher in pitch than the other 2. They also coo continuously. The collarless stock doves usually only coo twice, with the second coo dropping slightly in pitch. Stock doves also tend to call for 7 or 8 seconds before they decide to pause. Wood pigeons, which may even still be tending fledglings, are to be seen everywhere, whereas stock doves are far less common. A visit to Osterley or Richmond Park is usually rewarded with a sighting. If you ever get near enough to a cooing wood pigeon, it's worth looking closely at their eyes. Their pupils dilate and constrict as they call, as if they were in a state of ecstasy. Although there is no comparison to the cacophony of birdsong we heard in woods in early May, there is still a number of birds to be heard there. Among the woodpeckers, the staccato call of the green woodpecker is still common enough. If any drumming is heard, it is quite possible it might be the rare, lesser spotted woodpecker, as the greater spotted has usually fallen silent by now. There are still the noisy gatherings of starlings and crows, as well as the loud flypasts of parakeets and Canada geese. A much quieter call worth listening out for in woods is that of the treecreeper. Their calls are usually drowned out in other months, but in November they could be the only sound you hear. With its slurred ending, the call is slightly reminiscent of a chaffinch, but far higher pitched and thinner, more like a goldcrest. It also has a slightly vibrating, almost hissing quality. There may also be some accompanying soft z's or zits and the occasional tsu-tsu-tsu, in sympathy with the way they fly to the base of a tree and then hop up it to look for food. Their call descends down the scale, but finishes with a slightly upward inflection. They can be heard the whole month in most of our larger parks, as well as our larger woodlands. Any birds heard in more open grassy areas are likely to be pheasants or skylarks, or with luck an occasional partridge or yellowhammer. Linnets do call the whole month, but we usually just hear snippets now. When they do sing in concert, their light, airy calls are reminiscent of swallows. With no harsh notes, their soft twitterings were popular enough for Londoners to catch them and cage them in the past. All our summer warblings have now come to an end, except for some resident blackcaps or Cetti warblers. They can sometimes be heard along the Thames marshes. Buntings were also a familiar November sound in the near past. You might still hear a reed or a corn bunting on Rainham marshes, but the short, grating calls of sow buntings are now confined to history.